we are building the missing operators activity from the Why Byte Python programming course. The whole idea is that we ask user for numbers, in this case say 2 numbers, and create a third number which is based on these 2 numbers and linked with these 2 numbers through an operator. For example, I could add them, subtract them, multiply them, and so on and so forth. Then we ask the user a question and ask him or her to guess what operator we have used. So it's really like a twisted version of a calculator where we first ask the result, first compute the result, and then ask the user what operator we have used for this. So to start with, I'm going to consider only addition, and then later on we can build it. So which means that I'm going to create a new variable here called RHS, and that I'm going to do by doing num1 plus num2. Now notice here that both these num1 and num2 are integers because I've converted them to integers here, which means that plus here is just going to act like a regular addition. So if I were to do this, for example, first number is 12, next number is say 34, my RHS is 46 as expected, which is just 12 plus 34. Since this is just acting, like I said, like a regular addition. Now I want to ask my user a question, but before that I want to inform my user what is the expectation. So I just make a print statement and I say, can you tell the missing operator? Can you tell the missing operator? And I just tell my user that the operators that I'm looking at right now are plus, minus, or say multiply. Of course, right now, like I said, I'm dealing only with plus, and later on we'll build this further. But notice that this statement is just like an information to the user. This is the print statement, so we're not expecting any return back from this. Let's say, let's say 12. Say so when I run this, for example, tell me a number. So I say 12. I say 43. This statement is just telling the user what is it that I'm expecting. The real question is going to come on the next line because the print, is just informing what is to be done. Let's just think back on what the real question looks like, and it's actually quite interesting. Remember, the real question is going to be something like num1 dash num2 is equal to RHS. So in this case, for example, 12 dash 13 is equal to 25. But the point here is that we do not know upfront what exactly we are going to print on this. Which means that we have a situation here, we have a problem statement here where we are going to use the input statement because we want some kind of input from the user, but we do not know what exactly is going to be printed as the question. Let's see how we solve this, but before we go there, let's just understand a little bit about how the input statement really works. So we have seen this before right here. Input expects exactly one string. So if I ask, for example, what is your name? What is your name? Notice here that this entire thing is like a single string which works for us, and it just prints. I can just write whatever. However, if I were to write, say, for example, what is your name, one string, and then comma, say another string, say, let's say some SSS, I'm going to get an error because input, like it says here, expects only one argument, got 2. Really, input is expecting just one string. Now, unlike these questions where I knew exactly what I'm asking, the question that we are going to ask for the missing operator problem, we do not know because that's being formed from num1 and num2 and RHS, which means that somehow we have to find a mega string which will be that question. Let's see how we do that. This is again going to require knowledge of data, data types and operators. Remember, num1, num2 and RHS are all integers now, but we must do 2 things here. We must first convert them to strings, and we must also join them to each other or concatenate using the plus operator. Remember, it's like the plus operator is like the join apple banana of Scratch. So if I were to convert this, for example, to say string, say num1, that's 1 2 with those 2 inverted quotes. And if I were to do something like this, let's say str num2, then I'll end up with 1 2 4 3, which is a string. Now this is just the idea, so I'm going to create create this statement. I'm going to say, for example, say answer is equal to say input, and the way I'm going to do that is that I'm just going to say str num1, remember converting num1 to string, plus, now this plus here is going to act like a join apple banana because I am dealing here now with strings. So I say this like a dash here, maybe 2 is fine, again a plus, and this time around I have str say num2, say one more plus, and I put say an equal to over here. Just give some spaces, maybe. So just give some spaces here. Plus str, say RHS. And now I want to put this in the next, put the response in the next line. So remember previously we had put a \n over here, which is an escape character. So I can go and put inside a single string a \n. Now keep in mind that all these pluses here, now because they're operating on strings, this is now going to act like a join apple banana. So when I run this code now, it looks nice. So I say, for example, 12, say 43. And then I get asked a question, can you tell me the missing operator? It's of course plus in this case, because that's how we have formed RHS. But notice here, it's like a question mark now. 12, say dash 43 is equal to 55. And my cursor is here because of this \n. Now I can give any input here. Let's say I say plus. Now my answer is a string plus here. Notice this is a string. And I want to keep it that way because really I don't want to convert this to a number anymore. We will just use this string to compare later on whether the answer is right or not. So the point is that using a conversion from numbers back to strings and using operators the way we have used here, we are able to create a question using the input statement. Take a moment to understand this. Look at the the difference between the plus here and the plus here because of the data types, and and things will be clear. This activity is going to get more and more interesting, and there are many such interesting activities. Do look at our website ybyte.in to see how we can learn Python programming through such fun activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye bye.